Oh, it's been a while since I've been working on this one. I've been doing the 148 Devastator from Hobby Boss, which I've now finished, so I'm back into this. Alright, so last time I put the resin pieces on, and while I've had a break from this, in the back of my mind, I wasn't happy with the resin really, because it's the contact points for the pylons that attach it were very small and difficult to glue, and a slight bump will come off. So I've taken them off and I've put a cut plastic card. So this is I think it was point so half a mil, or 0.020 inches, and just cut strips for the rails that the door runs on, and I've used stretch sprue for the contact brackets, or whatever you want to call them. So they're not glued in, I'm trying to work them out too. So it's not exactly the same as the resin pieces, so I've modified it. I still need to clean these ones up, but the reason I went this way is I drilled holes and I can put that stretch sprue into the fuselage, so it just gives it a little bit more strength. So it's not exactly how it was, but it's near how it was, and this is more stable, stronger, and be able to withstand a bit of a bump. And when it's all painted up and that, it'll just blend in. Gear legs aren't in yet. Well, they're loose fit. I've drilled out these holes that were in the legs. So I was having a look. I'm referencing a lot on Google with this, just trying to find images of this helicopter. There are quite a lot. So when you put the engine pylon, or the wing pylon, whatever you want to call it, on the mount to the fuselage, it sort of sits up, but it should be flat like that. So I'm just cleaning here out some more with burr, just trying to get them to sit flat. So it's just about there. See, if I glued it and held it down or something, it'd sit. But these are going to have to be painted off and put on later, because you just won't be able to get at it. This is another thing I knew was coming, and I was concerned about how they'd fit, but they don't. So that the hole for these is bigger than the part, which might be a good thing, because it's going to really be hard to get these all squared up and level both sides and straight. So it's just a bit of the time here, just trying to work out how I'm tackling this, because I think I prefer, because there's quite a bit of photo etch to go on here, I'd rather glue this in, put the photo etch on, and paint it as a one piece, because the gear legs are the same colour as the helicopter on this particular kit boxing. So I'll need to, that one fit not too bad. This one's a bit different, because again, these resin inserts that were inside for the gear bay, there was no alignment pins or strips or anything to make it sit in a positive section where it needed to be for a good fit. So this one's a bit out compared to that one, so I'll need to work out what I'm going to do here and try and keep them at the end of the day. Basically they just have to be square, because otherwise you'll notice it, obviously, because the way the helicopter sits. So yeah, I'll keep tackling this, try and sort these out, then I can put them aside and keep on finishing this fuselage. The canopy, I was going to fit it, but I noticed I still had some scuff, light scratches inside, so I've polished it again and dipped it in pledge again. So that's another day of that drying off before I can come back to that. So yeah, it's definitely one of the more challenging builds I've ever done, this one. Alright, so I've managed to get these landing gear legs in best I can. It's just because there's no positive fits on anything, it makes things difficult, and a lot of this I've been going by the old Mark 1 eyeball. So I've put it in, I've done some strengthening so I got some plastic card and use it like a plate. It's not pretty, but you're not going to see it. This is definitely a model you're not going to tip upside down to look up under it, because being a helicopter. So I cut off a piece of plastic card, ground out an area for the leg. So I used the diamond burr just to cut half a circle, semicircle, so that plastic card can push in and touch the leg, because the leg is attached into resin. So I super glued it, but I put super glue onto this piece of plastic card, glued it down, then I used extra thin to glue that plastic to the plastic leg. It's just a bit of extra support, because it's end of the day, it's just pretty big for 1/72, and all the weight was on these legs. So like I said, it's ugly, but you're not going to see it. Just I wasn't confident with just the super glue holding that leg. As mentioned, the hole for the leg is bigger than the part. And I added the photo etch, and that's more resin pieces in there as well. As I'm going to paint it, obviously it's all glued in there, I'm painting it like that. Just, I don't want to, it's so fiddly, even none of this fits great. You trying to hold it and line it up, and so the last step for these engines and the pylons is the exhaust. Again, they're pretty how you going, well, they've been molded, but this is what we got. But because of the angle of it, of the where they go, you gotta, from what I can tell and images of the actual aircraft, this outer exhaust doesn't follow the shape, like pointing out like that. It's straight. It should be straight with the engine, so it should be like this, not like that. So I'm going to glue that in, and the other engine should be, the nozzle should be, from what I can tell, level with that one. So it's, I'm going to have to sort of glue it and then fill in, because the hole's too big, because if it goes in as far as it can, it sits back in too far. So another little chore to do to clean up, but that's the final thing. Thank God I'm just about over doing that stuff. I've also made up the foot mount to get into the cargo area or the crew area with plastic card and plastic rod. Again, the kit is supplied a resin one, but it's so delicate. Again, bump it and it'll break. Plastic card, just giving myself a bit more of a chance if I bump it. And again, I drilled into the fuselage so I could put the plastic rod in there and just curve the plastic card like the resin piece. As I mentioned before, once it's painted up, there's all this work I'm modifying that'll just blend in. The control surfaces, stabilizers, more so than control surfaces, I guess. So you need to drill the holes for them. So I just, where is it? They showed, was it this page? Oh yeah, there. So 4mm in from this panel on. So I just cut a piece of tape on my thinny mat. So I just 1mm increments, and I cut off a piece 4mm. And taped, just sat the tape there and drilled the hole next to the tape so I could put them in. So they do go a specific way. There's a divot indentation in the top of it so that when they go on, there's these pieces will sit so into indentation and then onto the fuselage. There's no mark where they go there, so just line them up even. What else have I done on here? So that's that. Oh, there's a call out here for the resin. It's a resin piece to go into there, and it's this piece, and I really can't, I'm not sure what the actual part on the real thing would be, if it's some sort of pipe. If so, I don't know why it's shaped like that, but I tried to find an image of that area of the helicopter. I found one, and that plate is like the plate there, it's not on it, so I'm leaving that piece off. So I'm not putting it on. I've added to the drop tanks, so that's the piece that holds them. Pylon type piece glues to the top of the drop tank. There's a piece of photo etch on there as well. So this piece here goes into there. That I drilled them out. They weren't drilled out, and that wouldn't push in properly, so that'll glue in like that. And there's a piece, so these pieces go into those holes, and that top piece sits up, from what I can tell, it'll sit up this one. I think I'm gonna have to check that now, because if I look at the picture, I thought it tucked up in the corner, but there's an indentation on the bottom. It's not on that one. Oh yes, it is. It might go to there. Look, so I need to have a look, try and find some images of that area, see if that's the case. That piece, it would go straight up. I don't think that's right. I think it tucks up into where like that. But yeah, I'll double check that to make sure. But again, all this can't go on and be all painted separate and put on, because otherwise you won't be able to get at it. The tail wheel I've taken off and started cleaning up. It's huge flash, like when the molds go together, they're misaligned a bit, so I had a huge flash, and it's so much so in my eyes, I don't know if I'm seeing things, but it looks, tyre looks thicker here than over here. So again, this is just all the joys of limited run kits. So almost finished with the preparation of parts, assemblies, sub-assemblies. Well, like I mentioned earlier on, all these handles and that will go on at the end, but still, if they are small, I was thinking using lead wire, but it might be a bit chunky if I use lead wire, so I might have a go at these and see how I go, but it's going to be fiddly because they're so small. I'm trying to get a tiny bit of CA glue on and then stick them on. But anyway, I'm not at that stage, but so now I need to wait till tomorrow, or when I next get to it, to fix up, finish off the canopy area. See, and I dipped it again.